I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Hermosa Beach City School District. Welcome, everybody. Can we start with a roll call? Dinah?
It is echoing.
There we go. Good evening, board. Board Member Barrow.
Present.
Board Member Gardner.
Present.
Board Member Bove LaMonica.
Present.
Vice President Clerk Cole.
Present.
President Cluth.
Present.
All present.
Thank you very much. We'll now move to public comment. Members of the audience may address the board regarding closed session agenda items. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. Not seeing anybody in person. Dinah, is there anybody for public comment in virtual?
No online commenters.
All right, seeing no public comments, we will adjourn for the closed session and come back at 6 o'clock for open. I would like to welcome you back to the open session of the Hermosa Beach City School District meeting. Dinah, can you please I'm calling to order. Can you please do the roll call? Thank you.
Board Member Barrow.
Present.
Board Member Gardner.
Present.
Board Member Bove-LaMonica.
Present.
Vice President Clerk Cole.
Present.
President Cluth.
Present.
All present.
Thank you very much. With nothing to report out from closed session, we'll now move to the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. I would love a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Jen, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Now moving to announcements, starting with Valley Student Council. Welcome, Student Council.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy Olson, Valley Student Council's 6th grade Vice President. We are excited again to be here tonight and update you on what has been happening at Valley. It has been a busy last few weeks and there's been a lot going on. 7th grade has finally made it to their outdoor science trip. They were so excited to go to Catalina. Students had a blast and spent a lot of time learning and making fun memories with their friends. As soon as 7th grade returned from camp, 6th grade had their turn and went to Pali. Students had a blast and are looking forward to next year's camps.
Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Zachary, Valley Student Council's representative. Last week, Valley had their Dolphin Dash and their Beach Day/Spirit Games. Students and staff began their day running on the field to help raise money for our school. After that, everyone made their way down to the beach to hang out and play games with friends. It was a perfect sunny day and everyone had a blast. Thank you to everyone involved in making that day so much fun, and a big shout out to Ms. Horeska, who organizes our Spirit Game Days. Builders Club is having another bottle cap fundraiser for their Buddy Bench. Students can donate bottle caps to their homerooms during the month of May, and the class that donates the most bottle caps will win Becker's cookies.
Hi everyone, I'm Eva Smith, Valley Student Council's homeroom representative. In Young at Art this year, students have been working on their last project of the year. Their projects are being created out of clay where students are sculpting figures and faces. In elective classes, Spanish students recently learned about Cinco de Mayo. Art students have been working on their symbolic self-portraits, yearbook students are finalizing the yearbook for the school year, and STEAM students are creating their own apps.
Hi everyone, I am Jonesy, Valley Students Council representative. In digital literacy, students have completed lessons on copyright and big data, allowing students to understand how their internet activity can influence patterns on online sites. They are also learning about phishing tactics, creating fake texts, emails, and alerts using phishing strategies. 8th graders have finished writing their books for their 3rd graders, and the books are now being printed and bound. The students are excited and looking forward to reading their books to the 3rd graders in June.
This Friday, 8th graders will be creating their legacy tiles. Students have already completed planning sheets and can't wait to be able to make their mark on the school. 8th graders are also beginning to work on memory boards and speeches for graduation. While we are excited to move on to high school, we will make sure to cherish this final moment at Hermosa schools.
The band is headed to the Forum Festival on May 24th. They will perform for the judges who will then rank them. After the festival, the band will head to Knott's Berry Farms for an afternoon of fun. The band will also be having their final concert of the year next month. Spring sports are in full swing. There will be an away game tomorrow against Paris Middle School. We hope you can make it to cheer on our athletes.
State testing starts next week. Students will test in their homeroom classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next. Next week, Valley students will complete the ELA portion of the test. Math will take place the following week. Thank you again for allowing our student council to share what is happening at Valley. We will look forward to sharing more information with you next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job. All right. That's always fantastic. Next, we have student wellness at Valley with Principal Bledsoe.
Good evening, board. Thank you for having me this evening, talking about one of my great passions at our school. So I have a slide deck and a time limit, but we'll see. That's my disclaimer. Thank you. All right. So Dr. Johnson initially asked me to talk about SEL and PBIS, but really wellness at Valley is so much more than that. And so I feel like a comprehensive overview of what we're doing is kind of in order to update you on our progress and also new programming. So here's kind of our run of show. We'll talk a little bit about campus spaces, intervention, Valley clubs, all the great things and places that students can get involved at Hermosa Valley School. When I think about wellness, it's not just about programming or what students can do, it's where they can go to do these things. Here is an example, a fantastic example of students at work. In fact, I shared a story on a tour the other day about a student who I walked into the wellness center, which when invited, I'm allowed to enter, who said, "Hey, Miss Bledsoe, see that chair over there? I built that chair." And that's true. He learned to work a hex key in our presence. But I think the cool piece of that is the ownership of spaces. So this isn't something that was designed by someone else that came in and programmed and planned, but the furniture was hand-chosen by students, built by students, is rearranged by students monthly, I would say, and just for students. Similarly, our library space got a bit of a facelift. And I think one of the coolest pieces of the library, it's an additional area where a trusted adult lives, where 25 students or more throughout the course of the year as they shuffle out can be in before school, at lunch, and after school. It's a space where I don't feel like playing soccer today, and here's where I'm gonna go. I wanna read a book, I wanna check something out, I wanna talk to the librarian. Additionally, furniture was built and chosen by students, but also we received a $10,000 grant, I hope you remember, from Friends of the Library, that has enabled us to update our collection based on student interest. So every new book was purchased with student recommendations. Our beautiful gym, also a wellness space. When you enter it, you just feel the vibe and the power of Hermosa Valley students in athletics who are performing at a high level. And now when we invite other communities into our space, it's just an awesome opportunity to see what great art can do for campus spaces. Additionally, this began with, here's an idea, of which 17 iterations later, with student voice and interest, became this. You see the theme. Themed weeks and assemblies. Huge shout out to Cassie Riley and Miss B, Troy, who helps to plan these amazing weeks. Now, these are just the weeks that are encapsulated separate from like Earth Week that are side programming. But what I want to draw your attention to is they're threaded throughout the course of the year. So how do we begin by saying hello? How do we address kindness? How do we celebrate the amazing resources that we have in our community surrounding literacy? And then this week is mental health awareness. So how do we ensure that our mental health doesn't go unnoticed when we're talking about things like high stakes testing or grades being due and submitted? Here's just a couple of snapshots. You will have seen them in my weekly updates or Miss Overbeck's updates, but the themed weeks come with, wear pajamas. I'm sure kids were excited about that. In addition to cozy up with a book or wacky Wednesday, wear your mismatched clothes. So just an opportunity for students to engage and celebrate togetherness. Here's an example of a few Valley School assemblies that were focused around wellness. Part of it, I would say 90% of it, is born out of student interest, in addition to community programming and partnerships like that with Beach Cities Health District, who's here tonight receiving an award, shout out. Education or educators in schools are tasked with presenting information to students in a way that raises awareness. And I think not only is this incredibly paramount to use our voices as a vessel for progressive student movement, but it's also an opportunity to take a pause and say, what are the things that we're going to work to celebrate? Out of the student survey came cultural assemblies. So I'd like to thank HBEF and HVPTO for the financial contribution to us having assemblies such as Drum Speak that happened just recently in April. Upcoming, we'll be notifying you of some social media awareness activities that are going to be going on in programming for the 24-25 year. Interventions and supports. One of the things that we talk about often with students and parents is how are we adequately supporting your students? What do they need? And what do tiered interventions look like? So the definition of those interventions are present on our school website, but I'd like to highlight a few for you tonight. One being the LMFT. So LMFT was an idea that was brought from my experience in another district. And post-COVID, finding that there are a lot of students having challenges with mental health awareness, in addition to the desire to build more student programming and really have the counselor have boots on the ground, enabling her to take a leadership role with regard to student programming and pushing into classroom spaces. The LMFT provides just that space. So we actually have a contract through Angela Wilson, who's the director of mental health at South Bay Children's Health Center. She was a partner for me in Manhattan Beach, and when I came over to Hermosa, I was like, do you remember me? Let's fundraise together. So through the grant writing process and also through grants that Children's receives, we are awarded a 2-day-a-week LMFT. We had a bit of a change in staffing this year. One of our therapists got an added job, but because there was a bit of a buffer week or two, Angela has also awarded us a 3rd day for the closeout of the school year, meaning students are receiving LMFT support throughout 3 days of the week, which is a pretty fantastic feat at no cost to the district. I'd like to thank the board for continued interest in the commemorating really that LMFT support going forward should grant money dry up in some way. I feel like it's an invaluable resource that's really been beneficial to so many of our students. Partnerships. In a incredibly underfunded school district, this is our bread and butter. So it's building those relationships with HBPD, Beach Cities Health District, South Bay Families Connected to provide opportunities for our students and parents. It's also resources like Alcove that allow us to support students who have challenging behaviors or are in need of some additional base touches and supports. And we're super grateful for these partnerships. We'll continue to work on allowing them to flourish and build programming with our amazing community partners. I'm stuck. Sorry. Do you know how to progress? There we go. Okay. I might have missed something. Yes, thank you. Tiers of support. The way that we define programming is by looking at data. So when we're talking about what comes next, it's a comprehensive assessment of what's working and what's not. And what's working, let's make it better. What's not, let's get it off the chart. So this is just a quick visual about our tiers, but the screenshot that you see on the right is a professional development that I ran alongside Allison Montoya with all of our amazing school partners, coming from attendance to Monique Gonzalez and school discipline. And what we did was we teased through each of these data points and looked to see who's being provided these interventions, how long have they been provided them, are they working, what do we do to make the system and process more robust? And I think the main takeaway when we are talking about data is let's figure out what works, let's work to improve. An example of this is participation mapping. I believe you were briefed about participation mapping. So that's what are students interested in? What are they already participating in? If they're interested in not participating, how do we link those two? If they're not interested in not participating, why is that? Let's get them in front of a counselor to figure out how to best support them. Included in the partnerships is an Indivisible Arts Creative Wisdom Tools that was built out of a partnership with Raphael McMaster, who runs the Resin Gallery, in addition to the Indivisible Arts program in our community. This is a South Bay nonprofit that's dedicated to the cultivating creativity, consciousness, and connection through the arts. It also has a really rad leader that's super dedicated to student wellness and has great tentacles into our community, providing our students with a really affordable access to arts, therapeutic arts. So if you visit our wellness center, you'll see macro photography hanging on the walls that are performed by our students, donated by Raphael McMaster. The image on the right is the creative wisdom tools developed alongside Cassie Riley and consistent with counseling state standards that have been pushed into 5th grade classrooms. The students on the left are not just wearing sunglasses because they're awesome. They are taking part in a mindful moment and figuring out deep breathing and grounding with Raphael. Really wonderful partnership that we will continue to roll up to 6th grade. PBIS. That's the acronym for Positive Behavior Intervention and Support. So where are we? Where did we begin? Where are we going? We initially applied and were accepted last year, and that allowed us to take a deep dive into our program organization, things like our comprehensive discipline matrix, or what positive interventions exist for students, and how to make them more robust. Individual classroom supports, making it a school-wide process, just enriches our campus community. And so I'm going to update you about progress and next steps. This is the WAVE document. Dinah, do you mind pulling up? And let's see. We'll see if this works. But we have a student video that was produced by Miss Bell's video production class on the WAVE, and it's about defining campus spaces and what is expected or approved behaviors in these spaces and what is an unexpected behavior. So we have a timestamp, and I'll just kind of talk you through with what you're seeing. And it has music, but I told Dinah, cut the music so I can continue talking. Surprise, surprise. So, a walk to the hot lunch line. This is a space that is Miss Gonzalez and my favorite spaces on campus, and by that we mean it's getting better. This is an example of what not to do on your way to the lunch line. This is an example of what to do on the lunch line. So we're walking, we're not cutting, we're not pushing. So this is all student produced and was shown in our Wednesday, our Wednesday homeroom time. You can tag back to my presentation. Also included are examples of in the bathroom, at the front, by the bike cage. You can stop if you want, Dinah. Pleasant, positive conversation, words of affirmation, things like this. What you'll also see when you visit the campus is these WAVE documents defined by each of the places. So this is overall what we expect, and students can recite this for you, which they recently did in a school visit from our community partner, from our LACO partner. This is a comprehensive overview, but if we're gonna zoom in a bit, an example would be, we show respect for all. How do we do that at the front entry? How do we do that at the hallway? How do we do that in the classroom? So in each of these spaces, it has a teased out exact definition of that full column, in addition to across the campus spaces. But we also have the comprehensive document that is shown in the front of the school. And we're up for an award. So we are currently writing a grant for the Silver Implementation Award. After our last walkthrough, I was told, not officially, but it was like a wink and a nudge, that we are definitely going to get the Silver Implementation Award for our incredible hard work through PBIS. And this is just a real acknowledgement of the great committee that includes student participation, parent vision, in addition to teachers and staff that are taking the lead. The administrator is actually not the leader of PBIS, so we have Mr. Coleman and Miss Riley who are taking the lead, but we also have 5 other teachers that were chomping at the bit to get into the committee, which was really wonderful. We said no to people, which felt weird. But also it's a huge celebration for us. Lots of positive feedback from Mira Bascarone, who came for our visit. What have we done? Well, we've adopted Navigate 360, an intervention program that's going to kind of change the way we look at behavior campus-wide. We have amazing parent participation. Through the walkthrough, we were actually joined by one of our amazing parents who shared insights that I wouldn't really have thought to share, but were so incredibly important when we're talking about student programming and parent feedback. We are a true community, and we want to make sure that the support the mission of all invested parties. What do we want to do? More, a lot more. And part of that looks like a more comprehensive celebration of fun and togetherness and competition, friendly, of course, competition, the opening of a student store, and then, of course, we're going to go for the Gold Platinum Award because silver's just today. What have we done with Spirit Games? In trimester 1, we ran a create your own, these are the 3 events that existed, create your own team t-shirt, swap the potato, and a hula hoop pass. In addition, they came up with a team chant. The second one, we got a little bit more physical with tug of war, which no one got hurt, I'm happy to report. And then brought in the Brainiacs for categories and Pictionary. And we just finished on May 1st, last Wednesday, with an incredibly successful trip of 570 students at the beach. Big win, thanks to HBPD, fire, and lifeguards who also were all present. Here's a couple pictures. I thought you'd like to see my supervisor. Being goofy with the kids too. Clubs and athletics. This is really a homegrown opportunity, but when I came to Hermosa, one of the things that parents and students said were, what clubs are on campus? And they were 8th graders, and that's not okay, because as 8th graders, you should know what clubs are on campus. So we run what's called a middle school club rush. And so students come out to each table. It's represented by, you see Stacy Ripley in the top right-hand corner, but it's represented by students who have been a part of the club. They have a slip, tells all about it, and all clubs are represented. Students get an opportunity to really interact with people that have been a part of it. Here's our Valley Spring clubs that are going on right now. Shout out also to 5th grade teachers who are constantly having classroom spaces open with student interest. So these are also born out of student interest. Next year, we're looking at expanding this to some affinity clubs and reaching out to students to see if they would be interested in building those affinity clubs. Here's another example of our kids having a good time. Go Dolphins. And Mr. Nate Vasquez, who has led us in an amazing way in Hermosa athletics this year. I'm so impressed with his ability to communicate effectively to parents, to meet benchmarks and timelines, to update, and to really get these amazing athletes back on the court. I've said it in front of you before, the loss of athletics through COVID had an incredibly large impact, negative impact on our students, and Hermosa is a town of athletes. So seeing them come together and celebrate sportsmanship, athleticism, and one another is an incredible pleasure to witness. We also have a surf team, not sure you heard. But we competed last weekend, and we're competing again this weekend. All 7 of our 8th grade students have made their high school surf team. So I think that's a big feather in our cap as well. Plus for Hermosa, we need to have a surf team. Shout out to Yanni, who has really spearheaded this with our assistant principal, Allison Montoya, alongside Nate Vasquez. They did all of it, made it all happen, and the proof is in the pudding. Our kids are killing it. What sets us apart? Not like you don't already know this, but our amazing staff. Every time I walk on campus, I feel my shoulders drop, just that it's a place of peace. It's a place where people celebrate one another and raise each other up and are there for one another in good and challenging times. Our kids, are there any better kids than Hermosa kids? I don't know. I'm gonna go with no. Maybe I'm biased. And then our fantastic community that just continues to support our programs by volunteering, helping to fundraise, and also helping to be a part of the conversation of where we want to go next. And that's super valuable. When we look at next year, it's important to look at district wellness goals. So I abridged ours. Create a supportive, healthy community for students and staff, continue to promote this diverse, equitable environment, and then target the support to make sure that all kids are engaged and are achieving it in the best possible way. So board goals are also Hermosa Valley goals. Thank you so much for your time. May I take questions?
Any comments, questions?
No questions, but amazing. Your presentation was amazing, and I'm wowed by all the things that you're doing. So keep it up.
Takes a village, so it's been really fun to build with this team.
Just Jessica, thank you so much. We are, as a community, so lucky to have you as the leader of this. So thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
I like how you weaved a lot of, a lot of the student-driven sense of it and theme of it. I think that's fantastic. But I think we also recognize that your energy drives a lot of it, and we're very appreciative.
Thank you, Quentin. Okay, appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving on now to public communications. I'll just read the boilerplate here. Public comments from the audience to the board. Members of the audience may address the board on any topic, regardless of whether it is listed on the agenda. However, the board may not discuss issues raised that are not listed on the agenda. Topics not on the agenda that are brought to the board's attention may be investigated by the administration, and a report made to the board either publicly or privately at a future meeting. Comments from visitors shall not exceed 3 minutes per individual speaker, unless waived by a majority of all members of the board. All right, and I have one pink card here, and if there's any others, Dinah, you can let me know, but Vanessa Poster, please.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here and very excited to have heard this report about wellness and our partnership with the Hermosa School District in May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're here because on your agenda today is a proclamation to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're really proud of the partnership we have with all of the schools in the beach cities and all of the city councils, and having that partnership really makes a difference in this community. Mental health is health, and you've just heard an excellent example about how addressing the mental health needs of our kids helps them to be better students, better citizens, everything. Our focus this year for Mental Health Month is social connection. Loneliness has a huge impact on physical and emotional health. 1 in 5 Beach Cities residents who responded to a survey of just Beach Cities residents that we did, 1 in 5 have little to no connection with other people. We can change that by reaching out, by connecting as individuals to those in our community, by participating in community events. I invite you all to come do yoga with me on the beach in Hermosa the next 2 Mondays, 6:30, right down by the pier, south of the pier. And talk to people you know, connect. That's what this month is all about this year. And I'd like to introduce Veronica and Gabriella Fish from Maricosta High School. They are on our Youth Advisory Council, and they're going to lead you in an activity.
Hi, everyone. I'm Veronica Fish.
And I'm Gabriella Fish.
And we're members of Beach Cities Health District's Youth Advisory Council.
I would like to emphasize the importance of social connections by inviting you to take action. Bring to mind a person you want to deepen your relationship with. Perhaps you can commit to planning and scheduling an upcoming activity you'd both enjoy. Investing in your personal and professional relationships also invests in your mental well-being.
Within our community, there are fellow seekers of connection. Let's cultivate a supportive network for ourselves and for others. Keep reaching out and remember that meaningful bonds evolve gradually. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening, and I'll see you out on the beach.
Thank you very much. Well done. All right, seeing no other pink cards in person, Dinah, is there anybody virtual?
We do have someone in public comment virtually. I'll let them in the room, announce them, and start the timer.
Great, thank you.
They just logged off, so we have no one in the virtual room.
Okay, With that, we will close public comment and move to our next item, which is the superintendent update.
Great. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. A lot of announcements today, so I'm going to keep it moving. First off, Dolphin Dash, thank you. Thank you, PTO. Thank you, students who ran and looked very tired while you were doing it. Excellent, excellent job. Fundraising was up. They exceeded their fundraising goal. Does anyone have a total? Doug, do you know a total?
Last I heard, it was almost 110.
Yeah, that's
on a
what I
goal
heard.
of 85.
So excellent job, and I just want to give a special shout out to Nicole Ellison. The Dolphin Dash on the pier was awesome, but they brought it back to sites so everyone could participate, and I thought that was a good move, and it clearly paid off, and we saw a lot of happy faces, so congratulations. Next, I had the great joy of, we had our community meetings for our facilities improvement projects. It was really, really well attended. We got great feedback from our community members, and it was very broad in its attendance. So looking forward to implementing a lot of those suggestions and feedback into our proposal, and excited for the next steps as we move forward to improving Hermosa schools. Next, the Superintendent Advisory, Student Advisory Council had the pleasure of meeting with President Greg McNally and the rest of the Hermosa Museum folks. They were able to give feedback and talk about museum programs, and so we're looking forward to our continued collaboration with the Hermosa Museum and our students. And they're such great partners, and I always like to give the plug. If you have not been to the Hermosa Museum, please do so. I was having lunch with somebody the other day, and they hadn't been. And you know what I said? You need to go. All right. The LA Rams 360 event was a total success. I have never had so many students, parents, and staff tell me that that was the greatest field trip ever. And just with note to the staff, keep in mind the premise was walking down to the beach with a lot of children, and getting engaged in outdoor activities on the beach. And they came back and they were so well run, such a great positive message, and such a fantastic football franchise. That was exactly an exact quote from every single student and parent. So anyway, I just want to give a big shout out though to the city of Hermosa and the LA Rams. It really was a total hit, across the board with our school community. So great day. Open house, we had open house for the last 2 weeks. I just want to first start out by thanking our maintenance and operations crew. They worked their tails off to make sure that they framed the canvas. And they really the classrooms and the campus was shining. I want to thank our parents for attending, and most importantly, I want to thank our teachers. It's so much work to prepare for open house, and they put all of our student work together, and it was impressive. My favorite is always the Wild West Town in 4th grade. Just super awesome. You really do feel immersed in their projects, but just a lot of great learning happened, a lot of project-based. And it was so great just to see our parents and our students showing the activities. Really enjoyed it. And then this is Staff Appreciation Week. Big shout out to our teachers, our classified staff. We really do. We're a tiny but very mighty team. I truly feel that this is one of the strongest teams I've been a part of in my entire career. And I want to thank each and every one of staff. This is in the dead of May. I hear it's a little stressful. So just it's a good timing. And then kudos to PTO. They make this week really magical, and most importantly, they feed the staff. And it's just a great opportunity to get re-energized and buckle up for the remainder of the year. So thank you to PTO. Our Memorial Day barbecue is May 22nd, when the dads come down with their barbecues and we light a lot of fires on school campus. So there will be lots of barbecue, lots of really cheesy, poor jokes from dads, including myself. And then we'll be playing long games. That'll be at Hermosa Vista. We have 21 dad volunteers. We broke the record. Last year was 20, so we beat it by 1. So thank you, dads, and looking forward. And I got to give a shout out to Baldeep. He's the dad that takes the lead. He's been running it for 3 years now. And he volunteered for the first one, so super kudos, and Dinah as well too is quarterbacking. All right, I had the pleasure of attending the Green Symposium at Da Vinci Schools on Friday. It was amazing. And something I worked with my team on the World Economic Forum, there's 3 of the fastest growing industries for future jobs 10 years from now, one of which is green technology. And I really felt that the Green Symposium was looking ahead about how to prepare our students for future industries and also to make this planet a better place. Learned a lot about architecture and building that's green in nature in many different ways and how our bodies can interact with the architecture of building designs. Looking forward to working with the board and our community more on that. Very exciting. And yes, it is CASP. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. We're gonna kick butt. I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. I've been walking classrooms. I've been seeing a look in kids' eyes, you know, that just, I don't know. Yeah, no one can beat us. So I just thank you to the teachers and the staff and the students. I mean, like it's always tough to like the logistics that are involved in getting testing going. So it really is a team effort, and the sites have worked really well together to create incentives for students. I mean, like to try their best because it's taxing. So we want it to be fun. You mean like, and there to be some incentives, you mean that guide their best effort. And then I have a sad announcement to make that former Superintendent Bruce Newland passed away just this prior week. And just wanted to take a moment of pause to acknowledge Bruce Newland and his service to the school district. Thank you. And in memory of Bruce, I'll tell a very quick story about why Hermosa is such a special place. I had the great pleasure on Fridays of supervising over at Hermosa Vista during lunchtime. Lots of fun. I'm really good at Foursquare. And I was walking by a group of students and they stopped me and they said, Dr. Johnson, we want to show you something. And they were writing a thank you letter. And I said, oh, who's your thank you letter to? And they said, oh, it's to our substitute. And I said, you're writing a thank you letter to your substitute here at lunch? And they said, yeah, we do it every time we have a substitute. We write a thank you letter, so we're doing it right now. A single tear. Anyway, that broke my heart, and I wanted to share that story with you, and this is why I love this place. So just kudos. We have great kids, great families, and a great staff to go with it. So that's the end of my superintendent update. I'll take any questions.
Sorry, colleagues, any questions? All right. With no questions, I'll then move on to the next item, which is public hearing. Item H04-2324, public hearing on resolution number 11:2324, approval to increase school facilities fees as authorized by government code section 65995B3 and the adoption of the district developer fee justification study. Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you, Quentin. We're opening the public hearing for the adoption and implementation of the district developer fee justification study, approving an increase in statutory school fees imposed on new residential and commercial/industrial construction pursuant to Ed Code Section 17620 and Government Code Section 65995, and that the superintendent or designee be authorized to execute the resolution. Public comment is requested.
Seeing no public comments, are there any virtual public comments?
No virtual comments.
Okay. All right. With that, then I would declare the public hearing closed.
Just need a motion.
Can I get a motion to close the
So
public
moved.
hearing? Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Maggie, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is closed. All right, moving on to board reports. I'll start to my left. Doug? No board reports from Doug. None from Maggie.
We had a wellness council meeting this last week, or yesterday. Jessica took us through a lot of somewhat similar information as what she shared tonight. She did take us through specifically like the benefits of having the LMFT and how it was grant supported and how beneficial it is for our students. So that was great to take that particular group kind of into the deep dive on that. We also then went through kind of all the wellness programs that are happening in Hermosa, kind of did a review of all those and just things that we wanted to maybe add or take off the list maybe for next year. So it's a robust conversation. Lots of people in our community, as I always talk about, are just very good at this in this space and have lots of resources. So when just even with like, we were talking about doing acts of service or volunteering, and, you know, and a person in the room was like, oh, I work for this organization and I can bring in this tool or body awareness or, you know, just yoga or, I mean, it's a robust group of people. So we really appreciate all the people who come to the Wellness Council meetings, and that was kind of we have one more to end the year.
Great, thank you very much. No board reports, Kathy? Okay, I don't have any board reports. So with that, we'll move on to the next item, superintendent report and board discussion, starting with R-322324, South Bay City's Council of Government. Ms. Bacharach and Ms. Murphy. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you very much. This is such an upbeat and enthusiastic meeting. I'm really thrilled to be here, and I'm the Executive Director of the South Bay City's Council of Governments. My name is Jackie Bacharach, and I'm here with some members of our staff. Eleanor Murphy, who's a Civic Spark Fellow, Talia Perlis, who works on our energy programs, and Kim Fuentes, who is the Deputy Director. We're here tonight because we have more good news for you. And we want to tell you about how we can be collaborating with your organization. I don't know how familiar you are with the South Bay City's Council of Governments. We're going to do an overview and then some opportunities, and I want to tell you about who we are. This is our map. We take in 16 cities in the South Bay. Our board of directors are the city council members from the cities. So in Hermosa Beach, Mayor Justin Massey is our delegate, and Councilman Ray Jackson is our alternate. And both of them are pretty active in the organization. We try to do things better together than cities can do separately: transportation, homelessness, broadband, all kinds of things. Tonight we're going to focus on our energy programs, but here's some of the things that we're involved in, sort of an all over the map. We do climate action planning, and we do a tremendous amount in energy efficiency, which is what we're really going to talk to you about. Before I do that, though, I know that you have a passion here in Hermosa Beach for e-bike safety and safe ways to get to school. And we're working now, I wanted to show you, on a local travel network, which would be a way for people to get around the South Bay in slow-speed vehicles, pedal bikes, e-bikes, neighborhood electric vehicles, and if you've been to El Segundo, you've actually seen our turtle signs, which are up on the street. They're piloting the program for us. What it's trying to do is it's trying to show cars that there could be these slow-speed vehicles on the road, and it's trying to help people in slow-speed vehicles use safe streets that lead to signalized intersections so they know where to cross. They know how to do it safely. We have to parent this program with bike safety, and that's why we're so interested in working with you on that. It isn't in Hermosa Beach yet. We're working with Redondo Beach, so it's going to be very close, and we are working with the City Council to try to bring it to Hermosa Beach as well. So I'd love to come back another time and tell you more about that, but at this point, because the superintendent gave me a very tight schedule, I'm going to introduce Eleanor Murphy, who's going to tell you about the programs that we want to talk to you specifically about tonight.
Thank you, Jackie. Hi, my name is Eleanor Murphy. I'm a Civic Spark Fellow with the COG. Let's see. Oh, other way. Okay, so the COG partners with other agencies in wastewater and energy, and I'm going to just be going through some of their programs and facility improvements and educational programming available to your district, and everything that I'm going to give an overview of is completely free of cost. So the first partner that I wanted to mention, and is the most important partnership to support facility improvements, is the Southern California Regional Energy Network, or SoCalREN. So this is a program administered by LA County, and they provide energy efficiency audits, project support, and incentives completely free of cost, as I said, through a personal project manager. 4 districts in the South Bay are already enrolled and pursuing these energy and money saving programs, and so you must enroll in the SoCalREN to take part in these programs. So that's really the first thing that we would like the district to do with us. The next program is through SoCalGas. So here are some of their equipment financing programs. There's links on the slide, but you can also follow up with us to get connected to these. Next is our partners at West Basin Municipal Water District. They offer a grass replacement rebate program. As you can see on the screen, this school in Hawthorne got money back for replacing their turf with native landscaping and also received design assistance. And West Basin also offers grants for installing water bottle filling stations and other educational programs, free of cost. Then next is the Los Angeles County Sanitation Districts. These are just some of their educational programs, including facility tours, science lab curriculums, and more. Next is the Water Replenishment District, which also offers facility tours of their water recycling facility, and they also include school bus reimbursement. They also have eco-gardening classes and other educational programs, which we can connect you to. Again, all free of cost. So that is the end of our brief overview, but we're really just here to support school districts, teachers, and students in the South Bay, and just wanted to present this to get our foot in the door. We would love to get connected with people in the district that could help us put forward these facilities and grounds programs, as well as the educational programs, and firstly, enroll in the SoCal Run. We do have handouts of a brief overview of what I just presented on, as well as the enrollment form, which will be passed out to you, or maybe already have, and we're open to questions now or via email.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
Sounds like a lot of opportunities free of cost, so it's very enticing.
I just had a quick question. What are the 4 other schools, districts that are involved in the South Bay?
LA Unified, Torrance, Redondo Beach, and El Segundo.
And can you give our wonderful staff examples of things that each of those school districts do? Not right now, I'm just saying when you potentially have another meeting.
Yes.
That'd be great. That'd be very helpful.
Great. Other questions? All right. Thank you.
Seems
very
like a
much.
great program. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for making time to come speak to us.
Thank you for your time.
6 minutes exactly. That deserves a round of applause. Like that's, wow. Well done. Thank you.
We hope we'll make the next minutes up with the phone call you're going to give us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So much for coming.
All right. Next item is R-23-2324, review of policy for memorials on school grounds. Dr. Johnson.
Yes, the board requested a review of their policy related to establishing memorials on campus. I've attached our current board policy as well as a supplemental example in case the board wanted to extend that policy. Based off my review of our current board policy, I think there is sufficient policy in order to place a memorial on the campus at the board's discretion.
Great. Any of my board colleagues have any questions?
I just had a question for you, Jason and Sylvia. Is there any place that we have currently on campus, any memorials?
Yes, as an example, we have a memorial for a former student who passed away that was placed by our scouts, our local scout troop, that I believe they were honored because we redid the plaque in conjunction with the rebuilding of Hermosa View.
There's also a placard on front of Valley School around one of the trees for a past teacher.
Great.
And is there any rules in the information about someone who has passed away versus someone who's still living?
That is the board's discretion. There's no governance on whether or not the person is alive or deceased.
So there's just a lot of latitude is what you're reporting back here.
That's correct. The board policy basically states, through 3 different policies, that the board has the latitude to do so. I would say the downside, if there is a con, is that there's no necessarily established protocol for doing that, except the board's latitude to do so.
So my question for my colleagues, go ahead, Jen.
No, is this something we need to do something about, or you're just giving us information? Is it a question time period for us, or just a review? Okay.
All right, we can move on then. If there's no other questions? All right.
Thanks so much for digging in on it.
All right, the next item is R-34-2324, enrollment update. Dr. Johnson.
Good evening, board. This is your second enrollment and staffing update. The last one was in January when we were just kicking off our enrollment efforts, and it is a good news report. Right, so our current registered enrollment for 24-25 is 1410 students. We registered 130 students ahead of last year's time at the same time. So when we took that count in May of 2023 for the 23-24 enrollment, that was, the difference was 130 students. And that's a lot of kids. That's almost a grade level of kids. And we have inputted these new projection numbers, which is 1430 for our May budget revise. That May budget revise is still pending with the state. Okay, so this is your enrollment projection that was provided by Decision Insight in the month of January 2024. The conservative is what you build or base upon for facilities to make sure you have sufficient facilities to house that number of students. The moderate is, reverse. Moderate is what you do for sufficient facilities, conservative is what you do for budget. And I'm going to demonstrate that we have well exceeded both of those markers. So here is our registered enrollment in May 2024. As you can see, we've exceeded the conservative and the moderate enrollment. And what you see is a breakdown of where we have exceeded the moderate enrollment or where we are below the moderate enrollment. So as an example, in kindergarten, we have 157 students currently registered. That is 21 students above the moderate benchmark. In first grade, we have 139 students. That is 6 students below the moderate benchmark. Currently, as a total, we have 14 students. That is 19 students above the moderate benchmark. Right, so this is a list of enrollment factors. These are the things that we have done and what we feel have made us successful with our unprecedented enrollment growth, and it is very much a team effort. It's a year-long process. Literally, when we end our enrollment and take our counts at the beginning of the school year, we start planning for the following year, quite literally. I just want to give a special shout out to programs like STAR, Hermosa Little League. All these partners, including the city, have helped us build a momentum to demonstrate that Hermosa Schools is a destination school district and get the word out. So here you see a built-out projection that I've revised based off of our current growth. And there you see at the 23-24 and behind that, our previous enrollment growth. That's hard numbers there. That's what happened. Looking forward in the green is what we believe to be happening. 1430 right now, the current enrollment's at 1410. We're not too far from where we believe the projection is going to land, and we'll continue to revise that projection if the enrollment continues to go up. We did do a revise of our budget at a glance that the board got to review at the budget workshop, as well as the latest goals workshop. And there you see a revision of our numbers going into 24-25 and our reserve levels. More kids equals more revenue, and we're looking good. Sorry.
I was waiting for that slide. Any comments from colleagues?
I have a question, Jason. Off of slide 2, it says that we're budgeting off of a 1430 projection. So that's an additional 15 students that we don't quite have. What grades, where do we think we're getting those extra 15 since we're already above benchmark?
Yeah, so if you go to, sorry, let me take it slow. There we go. So there you can kind of clearly see where we're under in the moderate projection. Now keep in mind, being under in the moderate projection doesn't mean that we're under in enrollment. It just means we're under the ceiling. But Obviously, we've revised our enrollment projections based off of unprecedented growth. So in answer to your question, while those might be good places where you could see that potential growth, realistically, our biggest growth areas are going to be the TK through 1 levels, OEs, and where we are well beyond our growth trajectory is at the kindergarten level. So I wish I could tell you it's going to nicely balance out and spread out, but probably will continue to grow in the area that we're biggest.
I guess where I'm getting confused is I thought we said we did budgeting off of our conservative benchmark, not our moderate. And so it would have been an even lower thing that we were going to budget off of for next year.
We've revised that. So what you're looking at is updated numbers for your budget at a glance based off of the newfound projection.
Okay.
Other questions?
I'll just add that, once again, in an environment where school enrollment has struggled to bounce back from COVID and is in structural decline due to birth rates, people aren't just voting with their feet, they're voting with their kids' feet, which is an even bigger vote, I think, and sending their kids here, which is, I think, a testament to our district. And I think it's great news for us, and really, I think, brings to fruition the hopes and the promises that we had for our district when we passed Measure S as a community. And we're now putting kids in all these classrooms. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Team effort.
All right. Thank you. Moving on. We now come to the consent items.
I'd like to move to pull items B, 113, 114, and 115 from consent for conversation.
I could use a little bit of coaching from my more seasoned colleagues here. Is that, we just say yes? Do we vote on that? Do we discuss it?
Second. So you're moving to pull those, yes, so we
That's
can
a
discuss.
motion, so I would look for a, yeah, I need a second.
Is there a discussion that we can have?
Yeah, do you want to,
If there's a motion to pull, then we can have a discussion.
so you've moved to poll?
Yeah.
So then,
That I second.
okay. Now, do we vote or do we discuss?
I believe that you need to vote in order to pull.
Okay. Motion from Maggie, second from Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 3. I'll say aye.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I need more explanation of what we're doing, so, of why we're doing this, because, yeah.
All right, can we do a discussion now?
Yes.
Okay.
So items B, 113, 114, 115 are contracts for legal services that will start in July and go through the following June. And knowing that sometimes districts change direction with legal services, I was curious if we should push these contract agreements to June's board meeting. So there's flexibility for next year if different strategies in legal services need to be taken. I believe your first year, Jason, you ended up going a different direction. We didn't use triple F and we didn't use AA, whatever they are, AALRR. We had a different set of attorneys that the district used, and so sometimes superintendents like to choose different attorney firms, and I wouldn't want to lock us into a set for the next year if we needed another month to discuss anything.
That's incorrect. So ALR was in place and we used them for a variety of services. I did bring in Fagan and Friedman over a period of time. Just want the board to bear in mind that these contracts are just MOU agreements so that we can secure their services, does not lock in the board to using their services. And if we decide to change in a direction, we could secure a different MOU with a different legal service.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if anyone else has any follow-up questions off of it.
No, and if I'm following, Dr. Johnson, what you're saying is approving these items wouldn't handcuff us in any way, so there's no reason we shouldn't proceed with approving them?
It would not handcuff us, and I don't foresee that the district will change direction enough to not need these legal services.
So do we motion to put them back onto consent and then vote on consent, or what do we want to?
No, you'll need to vote on each of these items individually now that they're pulled.
Okay, well, let's do that first, and then we'll go to consent. Yep. All right, so can I have a motion to approve B 113, 2324, the contract agreement with AALRR?
So moved.
Second.
Second from Doug. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. B 114, 2324, contract agreement with Tau Rossini. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Maggie.
Second.
Second, Doug. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. B 115, 2324, contract services with FFR, the FFF.
So moved.
Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost, so there's no confusion. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Doug, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. Now, back to the consent items. Can I have a motion to approve the remainder of the consent items?
So moved.
Thank you, Maggie.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Moving along to, why do I miss it here? Is it? There's several pages, that's why I was getting confused here. Board action. First item is S37, 2324, resolution number 10, 2324, Mental Health Awareness Month. Dr. Johnson.
Hi. Motion to, it's recommended to approve Resolution 10-23/24, Mental Health Awareness. This comes from Beach City's Health District, who spoke earlier today at public comment, and we recommend that we adopt, and then Beach City's Health District has asked that we've read the resolution, which I believe is with our board members folder, and I think Jen Cole's going to read it.
Looked in the folder, but I did not see it in the folder. Did I miss it in the folder?
I believe it's in Quentin's folder.
Oh.
I can read it from there. I got it. Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation for May 2024, whereas mental health is part of overall health and well-being and should be treated with the same urgency as physical health. Whereas 1 in 5 Americans experience a mental health condition that requires treatment at some point in their lives, and whereas long delays, sometimes decades, often occur between the time symptoms first appear and when individuals get help, and whereas early identification and treatment can make a profound difference in successful management of mental illness and recovery, and whereas loneliness affects at least half of all adults in the United States, that the Surgeon General considers it an urgent public health concern, and whereas social connection can reduce loneliness and better mental health, and whereas we strive to ensure people living with mental health conditions know that they are not alone, that hope exists, and that the possibility of healing and thriving is real. And whereas the Hermosa Beach City School District, in partnership with Beach City's Health District and community partners, are working to promote public education and community activities that can reduce stigma, encourage mental health, and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness through our Mental Health is Health campaign. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hermosa Beach City School District hereby proclaims the month of May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month to increase public understanding of the importance of mental health, and that every citizen and community can make a difference in helping end the silence and stigma that for too long has surrounded mental illness and discouraged people from getting help.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Need a motion.
I was going to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Kathy. Can I have a second? Thank you, Doug, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, passed. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to business. Item B140, 23-24, adoption of resolution number 11, 2324, to increase school facilities fees as authorized by government code, section 65995B3, and adoption of district developer fee justification study. Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you. It is recommended that the board approve and adopt Resolution 11, 2324 for the district developer fee justification study to increase statutory school fees.
Anybody have any questions on this one?
Let's get that money. Get that bag.
Okay, I actually have a couple of questions. When I went through the background, so my understanding, Dr. Johns, please correct me and anybody else in the public paying attention. In the past, this had not been updated very frequently, and so we had kind of stepped up a couple of years ago and said, hey, we should be on top of this. This is a source of revenue for the district, and so I think all of us were on board and supportive of that. When I went to look through this, I had been under the impression that this was focused on commercial development, but the language, as I read it, looks like it's residential and commercial. And I wasn't sure what the change is. I see the numbers in there, what we're approving it at, but not how much it's moving or how much it is now. Can you help us fill that in?
Paula can speak to the numbers, or we can follow up, but on the it's new residential, so this is, constructed by land developers in that sense. It's, as I understand, it's not if you want to build a granny shack in the back.
So as far as the difference between what we were previously getting, I don't have those notes with me, but I'd be glad to provide that information for a board update on Friday.
That would be good. Okay, does anybody have any other questions or feel comfortable moving ahead? All right, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you, Maggie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, passed. City of Hermosa Beach encroachment permit. Approval is recommended. Oh, pardon me, Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the City of Hermosa Beach encroachment permit, which allowed us to complete the work in the parkway and the beautification project at Hermosa View School.
Great. Any questions or comments? Not seeing any. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Maggie, for the second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. All right. Moving on, B142, 2324, Beano Construction, Hermosa View School, CUP, CCAA program adoption. Ms. Montalvo.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the CUPCA construction delivery method for this project, the restroom modernization at Hermosa View School in Building B. So it's approval of the delivery method and the contract.
Great. Any questions or comments? All right. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Doug.
Second.
Thank you, Maggie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. B143, 2324, Pringle Group, FNA, Sandy Pringle, increased cost proposal for the inspection services for the restroom modernization project at Hermosa View School. Ms. Montalvo.
Hi, it is recommended that the board approve the Sandy Pringle's rate increase for inspection services at the Hermosa View restroom modernization project, which is a requirement of DSA. He will perform all inspections and provide results to DSA for us.
Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? All right.
Sorry, just a quick question. Did he have a different price originally or something? Is that why it's a?
Back in 2021, yes, he did have a price that was $95, and annually, every year during Measure S, they put forth an increase.
Thank you.
Kind of is what it is.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion passed. B144, 2324, purchase and installation of new lunch tables for Hermosa schools from School Specialty. Ms. Montalvo.
It is recommended that the board approve the quote received from School Specialty for purchasing and installing 109 lunch tables at Hermosa View. The cost of this project will be funded by our developer fees.
Fantastic. Any questions or comments?
Is Valley in the consideration for those also?
Yes, all three sites will be getting the tables.
Such great news. I mean,
Yeah, this is an
new
awesome.
lunch tables are amazing. It's a game changer. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
This and murals, it goes right hand in hand. Good job.
Are these ones as colorful? All right.
They're blue.
All right.
Fine.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you,
Second.
Jen. For the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion's passed. B 145, 2324, renewal purchase of firewall for district network. Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Quinn. It's recommended the Board of Education approves the renewal of the purchase of our Palo Alto network firewall appliance in the following amount. $14,307.57.
Thank you. Any questions? Anybody have any spare routers at home? No? Okay. All right.
Any wire?
All right. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maggie. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. B 146, 2324, consultant agreement, reading intervention support. Ms. Gluck.
Ratification is recommended for the consultant agreement to provide reading intervention to students. The cost associated with this contract is covered through intervention funds.
That means covered through separate grants or?
Supplementary.
It's supplemental funding that's part of the LCFF.
Great.
That's designated for the unduplicated population.
It's restricted funding, in other words?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Got it. Great. Anybody have any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Last item, B 147 in business. Sujan, 147-2324, Sujan Creative Project Proposal. Dr. Johnson.
Ratification is recommended to approve proposal from Sujin Creatives. She's done all of our videos as of late. She's done a great job. We've been moving forward with producing videos, recognizing and promoting our signature programs. She's done great work for us, and we're just trying to keep these projects moving. And this is budgeted as part of our LCAP as well.
Thank you.
Any questions? Comments? All right. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Maggie, for second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Motion's passed. And finally, board member roundtable. I'll open it up for discussion.
I can start. We fly by it most months in consent about the personnel changes. I'm sure we're going to do a big thing in one of the June meetings for the 5 people. We've approved the PARs, but this is the first time in this agenda that the names have fully been out there. And my kids had 4 of the 5, all 4 of the regular classroom teachers who are on this list. So Mr. Pratt, Ms. Robinson, Ms. Murphy, and Ms. Heath. So I just wanted to give a big shout out. They're all very long time, very honored, bless you, teachers, fantastic teachers. As I said, my kids had all 4 of them. And I'm forgetting the name of the 5th one because they didn't have them, and so I apologize. Somebody please jump in what the 5th name is, but I'm sure she's fantastic also.
It's Denise Valentini Stern, our great school psychologist.
Thank you. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. If you see them, congratulate them, thank them for their service to the district. It'll be our honor to honor them next month, but I know it kind of gets hidden in there, so I just wanted to pull that out to just say, thank you to them. So that's it. Thank you.
Just want to let the board know that we submitted a table talk proposal for the CSBA AEC, the annual ed convention, based off of Quentin and Jason and Paula's push around budgeting for the future. So hopefully Quentin will be up there in December as his final act as board president, talking all about budgeting for the future.
And just a major kudos for submitting as well too. We're really proud of that work, and kudos to Quentin. Paul and I have really enjoyed working together. I've learned a lot, honestly, through that collaboration.
And thank you for Maggie for doing the legwork on putting that proposal in. Anything else for board member roundtable? Or are you guys all excited as I am to get to the hockey game?
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna spend the next 25 minutes on something.
Perfect.
Actually, I do want to say the 2 young ladies who were here for the Beach Cities, Gabriella and Veronica Fish, one of them is Student of the Year at Maricosta. So I just am starting to realize how much breadth Hermosa schools have. And I was at the open house up at View, and a former student comes up with 3 children, one in kindergarten, I mean, making me feel very old. But yeah, she was there, and there was a third incident that I wanted to talk about. Oh, and we have Audrey Aarons, who's a former student. So just the cycle of Hermosa it's awesome. So I just wanted to say that.
We love our longtime Hermosans. Great, thank you, Kathy.
Sure.
Jen? All right. If there's nothing else tonight, then I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Go Oilers. Oh, not a motion.
So moved.
So moved. Okay, thanks, Kathy, thanks for the second. Maggie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.